Okay, folks, time for a quick update. I'm going to use my cell phone this time. I just found this ad that just Volvo spent a lot of money creating this ad, and it's darn good. I mean, I don't know how long it is. It's a minute 20 ad, and it's impressive. So Volvo's going to do great with that ad. I like Volvo trucks. I am so impressed with the transmission they put in their trucks. That 12 or 13 or 14 speed automated deal. I have studied the design of that transmission, and I'm going, my God, I might go work for them. That is some impressive stuff right there. I'm saying. So big shout out to Volvo here, and I'm going to use their ad here as basically the basis of this shout out. So let's watch this ad together, and I'm going to give them a plug right here on YouTube. Oops, let me get this so you don't see all that crap. Alright, close this. Started playing. Sorry, I'm going to leave you this. This is cold watch. And there's a website I found it on, so give them a plug. Ain't that cool? They stacked 4 semi-trucks on top of each other. Well, a semi-truck and a straight truck, I think. Oh, and the company president, he's standing up on top. I said, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here with all the flash and stuff. This is like the second time or third time I've watched it. And they had to do it in the rain to get that shot, I assure you. Okay, it's 2 long trucks and 2 short trucks. Okay. 38 tons. Well, that's some impressive stuff right there, I'm saying. Anyway, I'm getting tired of holding this phone, so it's going to go a little dark. Don't be offended. I'm just, I'm going to talk now. Basically, we're doing a blog. We're doing a, Went and saw the doctor today, and I had that scheduled with the beater and stuff. And the way that works is you go over there, and the first thing they do is they route you right into the lab to get some blood out of you, and they've got their own testing. I mean, they test all the normal stuff, but they've got one specialized test. It basically gives you a number, and that is the cancer number. Their cancer number. I don't know what it means. I guess next time I'm there, I'm going to ask all about it because I want to learn. You know me, I got to learn. Well, the first time I saw them back in October, they had done that test and they got a number of 3,000. Remember, the scale is 0 to infinity or you're dead, one or the other, Well, this time it was 6,000. So in all this goofing around, trying to get this infection knocked down, my numbers doubled. I said, well, that bad? He said, no, well... He said it's not good, obviously, but, that number's still pretty low compared to a lot of people I'm working with. I said, oh, okay, that's good. And he looked at the CT scan I had done that one Saturday. He's basically sitting there mumbling to himself and doing kind of like this is. He's sitting there looking at all the information he has, blood work and the CT scan and other blood work, comparing the 2 blood works and everything, basically studying me and with a live commentary, and I'm sitting there. And he said, we need an MRI. We got to do an MRI, and we got to look real close to this, and this, and we got to decide what's going on. And I said, okay. I said, I hate MRIs, though, Doc. I'm a big man, a big old barrel, and I barely fit inside that freaking thing. It's like freaking sticking a cork in a freaking hole in the wall. He said, I know. We're going to find the biggest machine the OSS got, and we'll use. I said, thank you. I've done that twice, and that's the first time I was about a panic attack. They had to sedate me and give me a blindfold, and the second time I knew it was coming. So I said, just give me a damn blindfold and turn the radio up and hurry. Okay, yeah. So I got through that. So I'm learning. So anyway, that's where we're at now. We're basically waiting for. I'm waiting for the hospital to call so we can schedule this MRI, and then I gotta get the MRI, and then after the MRI, 24 hours later, I'm supposed to call back to Beater and let him read it, and then we'll schedule the next appointment. So that's basically the plan forward on that. In other news, I decided I'm going to launch a business venture to take in the money off of these YouTube channels. Basically, the money. If I ever do monetize, there's a story behind that monetization stuff. I figured it out, YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to set up a business entity, and I don't know whether to make it an LLC or Inc. Incorporated. So I called around and resources I know and people I asked a buddy of mine and he said, I'd asked another person and they recommended Score, and then I asked my buddy, he said, Score, yeah, and anyway, he's going to call me back when he gets back. He was down in Texas. He was vacationing down in Texas when he called, and we played phone tag, and that was hilarious. He was the secretary. He basically he's the front guy. You call or email and contact these people. He calls you back, and then he helps pair you up with a local business leader, usually retired, although they do have some young people that want to help. Local business leaders that pairs you together as the mentors, big brothers, big sisters kind of stuff, to help me decide how to go my way forward on my business ventures here. Because basically, I'm trying to get monetized to pay this freaking bills off. Oh, Lord, and medical bills. I've been looking at my medical bills. Right now, basically, if I go to the doctor, I got to pay half. That's the way my insurance is. I got to pay half. It's $90 a month in capital insurance, and up to your deductible. And see, that's the deal. You got to balance your deductible. There's different tiers. So I had the $90 tier. So I got to pay half up to $3,000. So I'm going to be out $1,500 here in the next minute, And then it drops to 10%. And then once I reach, I think it was 6,000 or 8,000, then it'll drop to zero. That's basically my coverage on that deal. And, I think I told you, but if not, I'll tell you anyway. I put in my paperwork in Caterpillar. I'm going to retire April 1st. Pardon me. Wow, that's just rude. Rude, I'm telling you. Woo, that's funny. And I'm going to retire April 1st. I'm going to get this business off the ground, and basically, using this business, I'm gonna do consulting work, and my fee is going to be $100 an hour. That's 36 cents a second of my time. Video conferencing. And I already got my first client. That's my former employer, Caterpillar. We got, that little office I got. They're going to use that exact same office because it's being vacated. Because my buddy's retiring too. He's going to go out on April 1st. So I'm going to demand that they put a video conferencing deal back in that little air-conditioned office, and especially the repairman and anybody wants to go in there and sit down and basically, hit the button. Basically, I can picture, you go in, there's a nice little comfortable chair, maybe several comfortable chairs, so you can get 3 or 4 people in there, like all the repairmen come in there or something. We're having a morning meeting. And to unlock the terminal, you got to have a Caterpillar badge, so you basically got to badge in to be able to talk to me. So when you badge in to talk to me, you're on the clock at 36 cents a second. Woo! You don't think I'm going to make some money? So this is how my income is. So between you all out there watching commercials, whenever I monetize this thing, I'm going to cover my bills. We'll get her done. The plan on how long my way forward has been revealed to me today. Anyway, you can picture, you go in that little office and there's a couple office chairs, maybe a coffee maker, maybe, whatever, just basically, it's a break room, but, in order to talk to me, you got to be authorized. And I can picture the only people authorized to start with would be my boss, my former boss, all the repairmen, anybody that basically has any business talking to me. So, with 36 cents a second, the company said, oh, yeah, if you want to talk, 36 cents a second. Although I strongly urge you, if you just want to call and talk and shoot the shit, call him. Don't do the video conferencing thing. Video conferencing is for visual stuff only, so you can see each other. And also, I picture getting a little GoPro or something, and that can do Wi-Fi. In fact, I got my little camera would be perfect for that. Put a Wi-Fi hotspot out there and repair can go in there and badge in and go, hey John, I need to show you something to get your opinion. Well, sure, we'll grab it. I'm going to grab the deal here and you can switch views there and follow along. All right, okay, get her going. Hurry though, 36 cents a second. Yeah. And then go out there and they can use that deal like a flashlight and basically show me what they're seeing, and then come back and then talk to me some more. You see how that works? I personally think that's brilliant. I don't have any. I'm poor. I'm sick, and I can't do manual labor anymore. But there's a lot of knowledge up in my head, boy. I've got so much stuff running around my head that needs to somehow or another spilled, So that's how I'm going to get and I'm going to limit myself to 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day available for limiting, and that's one chunk at a time. 2 hours a day. I'm going to put a counter up, and it's like you click to go to the web page and it'll show, John has worked this much today, and he's available for this much. So, and I'll take on clients as retainer, under quote-unquote retainer, and so they can basically log on there and go, oh, he's willing to work up to another hour or so. Boy, I want to talk to him. Of course, you got to have this all set up ahead of time, and we'll come up with some kind of a box that you gotta badge in. So basically, I know who I'm talking to, and all the billing gets handled. And oh yeah, we'll come up with something. So I can picture anybody who wants to talk to me. They got a little room. Talk to John Allen, and you go in there and badge in, and basically whoever badges in or the company there, or you're paying the bill 36 cents a second, and 2 hours a day, no more. I have got to worry about my health. I've got to get some sleep. I've been doing too much here the last couple of days and it's driving me down. I just got up a little bit ago, and I was just so tired, sleeping so deep. I was sitting there coughing, hacking up all this stuff, trying to get woke back up again so I can see where the heck we at and get caught up on YouTube and the news and see if, after my last debacle, putting the video up, it had any traction, because if you're seeing this, you're probably one of them 9 people that saw that Nascar deal, which it blows my mind. I throw that out there, which I think is the greatest idea in the history of motorsports. 30 years after John was being an idiot, we all get to watch cars run that race. And I can picture, we're gonna run the deal. And here's how we're gonna do qualifying. This is what I think. We're gonna do qualifying by basically lining up on Grange Hall, starting about a quarter mile back from that corner. So you got, everybody come and try to qualify. And we'll allow you we'll basically close Grange Hall there, and we'll allow people to back up to the corner with Jubilee. And then after that, policemen or somebody standing there saying, no, you got to keep moving, go on down the road. When an opening shows up, so I can picture cars coming south off 74 up Jubilee, hoping there's a hole about to open, so that they get their shot to get in line. So they get their shot to sit in line for 5 miles, across going to Grange Hall, whatever that distance is. Sit in line patiently to get to the front of the line, and of course we'll have somebody. Somewhere as you move along slowly, you'll have the opportunity to register, pay your registration fee, and then what we're going to grade on and set the order will be your speed as you come hauling ass down that hill on Trigger Road there. What was the speed you were going when you hit the bottom of the hill? Because my little car, it was 160. I would bury that speedometer because, downhill grade, Mr. Gravity is your friend. So, the car would stop out at 150 on the flat, no wind, with the headlights down. 150. With the headlights up, 140. So at night, you were limited to 140. Daytime, 150. Downhill, at least that downhill, 160. And a real severe downhill like Route 6, over that big downhill where, it's got a freaking grade, that big steep grade going down towards the Chillicothe. I'm not going to tell you all what that little car to go. Because I didn't have GPS or any way to measure it, so I have no idea. And a little part of me was hoping there was a cop sitting down there at the bottom at the turnaround, because then he'd have his radar and he'd get a measurement, and he would have told the world that car was probably doing 180, 190. Anyway, these are freaking cool cars. But like I said, they're dangerous. I told the story about how the first two cars I had, they both killed people. Oh! And I'm going to urge people, if you got a 90 to 94 GSX, first of all, the car is short, so it gives you an opportunity more of you to enter. In fact, that'll be the number one deal. Would be a stock car of mine, like mine, that I've certified. They basically simulates what my car would do, because it sure acts the same. And then the next, running order in the race is going to be cars that have been souped up. They started out with my car, and then they've added more. They reinforced and upgraded and everything, and of course the car only had a CD of .29. That's a very slippery little car. And it lowered and everything, and boy, you could get that probably 2.2, 2.3. Oh, I bet you that car fast. And the engine, it's been proven that little Mitsubishi on pure racing gas or alcohol, 1,200 horse easy. That little crank can hold together 1,200 horse is my recollection of what I read over, when the craze was going on there, 99 to 4, and everybody's figuring out, woo, this is a hell of a car. So anyway, I can picture a whole line of people that've got 1,200 horse cars, versions of my car, set up totally for road rally. So that'll be the next cars in line. And then the starting order is going to be, they're going to run from the top of the hill there, basically coming up on that corner. You got a quarter mile to get up at least 40. You're going to have to slow down to 40 to get around that. Well, I don't know. You might be able to come around that corner at 50 or 60. Or, you know what? We probably ought to rebuild that corner so you can make a wide sweeping turn. We're going to have to talk to that homeowner there. He's got that house on the deal. I know that the freaking homeowner, he's going to want a front row seat, but he's not going to probably want to give up much of his front yard. So we probably ought to work with the county. You know, the county would be the right deal because it's their freaking road. Oh! Boy, if we put a roundabout. No, it's got to be exactly like it was originally. Yeah, you know? So maybe the first year, as it stands right now, what does that corner look like? Well, there's a little divider deal. There's a right-hand turn there, but it's still kind of I mean, you could... No, there is no divider. You can basically go around the corner the same way. So, anyway, you get around the corner, probably push. If you push it, 50 maybe. But then, of course, you hammer down the hill. You come around the corner at 50, push your foot on the floor, and wind it to 9 grand, 60. Bang! You're in second, shift to second gear, wind it out to 90. Bang! You're in third gear, wind it out to 120. Bang! Put it in fourth gear, wind it out to whatever she'll do, all the way to the bottom of the hill. You see how that was a fun thing to do in the morning? I get to entertain my friends, and that was a thrill. Hit the bottom of that hill at 160 or so. Holy cow. So anyway, the starting order is going to be determined by your trap time at the bottom there. However fast you were going when you hit the bottom of that hill, that's going to be the starting order. And then you got over a mile to get her slowed up before the stoplight up at the top. So it should be safe. It won't take too much to get that up to qualifying specs. Okay. And I would strongly urge Fox News to broadcast that. As many people's going to put in, hell, we might spend a month. We might have a month of entertainment right there, right now. And then, of course, street legal. So basically, any car, you got a Lamborghini, you got a road race car, you got like that '69 Camaro. They used to do kind of something similar down in the Baja, where they overstretch the road wide open, and that one guy had that '69 Camaro that was all set up for road racing. What was it, 250, 260? Was sailing down through there? Set a record for that. I think he had 260 at Talladega. It was a one hot car. And then, of course, you're going to have one day where you got to get all the NASCAR guys qualified using the exact same principle. So, how fast can you... Of course, that corner's going to get all tore up. All this beating and banging on it. So, probably the thing to do would be to do a proper... Try to match the geometry and the stickiness of the corner as I recall and as it is now. But totally rebuild it and beef that thing up so we can take race cars pounding around that corner. I think the county ought to pay for that, and if not, I think from a personal standpoint, I'll donate to get that one corner up to snuff. In fact, we probably ought to fix every corner so that whole stretch of road can take the abuse it's about to take. So that benefits the community. We get these corners that were kind of a little bumpy and and not the greatest. We get upgrade them so they can enjoy that year round. So anyway, the NASCAR boys get there and they got to qualify. Pick out of the hat to get order. I can picture Harvick going first. I don't know why. And I want the opportunity to interview each one of them. There's so many questions I have of each driver that, Anyway, so they set their times. They basically start there, quarter mile back, run up to the corner, around the corner, and nail it all the way down the hill. And of course, you're going to set the car up so you get an opportunity to basically feel. That's basically going to be your practice run. We probably will have one day where everybody gets one practice run. We basically do a practice run through of how the race is going to go. No, there's no need. There's no need. You don't. That's the whole point. That stopping in the end. You got to get her wound up by the freaking stop sign. So you have to judge. So there's some skill involved in you judging. Can I get her stopped by the line? And we'll have big old stop signs on either side down there in the end, so it's real visual. I got to get her wound up from 200 something miles an hour to that stop sign. When do I hit the brakes? And then what's my speed going to be as I cross the line? So I can see people trail braking until you cross the line and then just slamming on the brakes trying to get her to stop. And you're only going to get one practice session to see how much fun that's going to be. So basically you run it once. Now you can set up you could go anywhere and set up an identical. We'll give the dimensions of that deal so you can practice your heart's content somewhere else, but you're only going to get practice once on the real thing. Trail brake just enough to cross the line and then slam on the brakes and get her stopped. I can see people just, people at roads, closed roads or parking lots all across the country practicing that. They got to have enough room to get up to the top speed. And, well, the speed estimate that they're going to be, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Hell, quarter mile. You go in your quarter mile strip and you basically practice trying to stop at the stop just so many feet past the timing lights. You can picture people all over the world. Every drag race in the country, that'll be an event. The John Allen, stupid deal competition where drag racers practice stopping on the line. Well, that does teach people a lesson about judging distance and being able to stop on the line, don't it? That's pretty cool. Ooh. Ooh. So anyway, you get the speed, the trap speed, for all the NASCAR guys, and then we go into trap speeds for all the other contestants, and like I said, they're driving in a big loop, Jubilee. Well, I tell you what, they drive in a loop past the corner of Grange Hall Road, up the street a little bit, around and down through Jubilee Park, and then around and back around again. So basically, you got to take your turn to get in the loop that you're all kind of basically circulating in, and there's no stopping. Everybody's got to keep moving. So you got basically a traffic jam of people moving at, and speed limit's 10 miles an hour. Speed limit's 10 miles an hour. We'll put them freaking stop signs up, and taking pictures and basically policing it. So y'all basically you come up to Jubilee. Well, basically you're on 150 and you keep driving by waiting for an opening. You keep driving by on the right lane. Keep waiting for an opening to show so you can get in line. So then you go down and you go down to the Jubilee entrance there, and you do a loop and you come back up the right hand side. And you go down to the roundabout, you come back around again. No. Basically, we'd have it all laid out. So basically, you wait your turn to get in line, and then you wait your turn to get in line, and then you wait your turn to get in line, and then you wait your turn to get in line, and then after we get a rough estimate of how many cars we can line up on that 3 miles for race day, then it closes. Sorry, guys, you didn't get in time. Well, we're going to let it run a little long, okay? And then here's how we're going to get the actual, how many contestants are we going to have today? The contestants will line up on the 3 mile road basically, a guy's standing there, and he's got and the first contestant, the front bumper is up against his legs, and contestants, they must have some sort of a seal or padlock on their parking, and the cars have to have parking brakes, guys. So that basically the officials will then, you pull your parking brake on to set your brakes, and then an official will apply a seal to the lock on your parking brake, and your car's going to sit there. It ain't moving till we get this all sorted out. And then he's gonna go along with a two-inch block of foam, like a sheet of foam, and he's gonna hold it up to the back bumper of the car in front of him, and he's gonna slowly ease you up till he can just get that piece of foam out of there, and then you're gonna lock your parking brake, and then he's gonna put a seal on it, and a two-man team, and then we're gonna back it all the way up down that to the 3 mile line, and there's our contestants for this race. That's how many people is going to race. We've had days and days of people trying to qualify, and then that sets a reasonable length of time for race day. So we can get it run in the daylight. You know what I'm saying? I can see starting at 10 a.m. and having it all wrapped up and done by 2 p.m. Make it a 4-hour spectacle on race day. Where is my... Really? I don't have a camera up, so I can't show you what one of my other devices are. But I gotta get me another one here. Hold on. I'm still talking. You notice by using my cell phone, I can just let the camera run, and I don't have to freaking edit shit together or nothing. So, it wouldn't surprise me if I start using my cell phone or my tablet to make all further videos. I just learned. I'm learning, and you're following along, so you're learning. Yeah, here's how you do this. Get your cell phone and your laptop out, and here's how you try to get monetized on YouTube. And that's a long story. It's very easy to get. I think it's probably pretty easy to get, reasonably easy to get monetized on YouTube if you have a compelling story. But I'm starting to wonder if YouTube's getting a little greedy. But I'm not accusing. I'm just saying. And I tell you, Walker boys, love you, man. Love you. I wouldn't mind talking to you sometime about the subject. Premier One driver, same thing. And Millennial Farmer, same thing. One line getting in touch with you three and starting a conversation and talking about YouTube. And that's all I got to say about that. So anyway, race day. We're back to the race day, and first contestant's up, and so basically you're lined up on 3 Mile Road. We've got our contestants, it's all done. Officials go down through there and they cut the seals on your parking brakes. So your car's been sitting out there in the weather, far from home. Gotta wait your turn to get up and down. You gotta have to walk. Basically, you're gonna have to park your truck on a near side road and walk to your vehicle in order to do anything to it. And we're not gonna let you do anything to it. It's gonna have to just sit there. I mean, you can put a tarp over it. That's cool. But officials better find his seal on your parking brake when you uncover it and you're ready to get in it before he's going to let you get in it and start it. He's going to cut the seal and say, here, have at it. You can go ahead and start it whenever it's time, and then mosey on up, but you're going to have to sit there. Oh, that's cool. You got to have enough gas, the size of your gas tank, to be able to sit in line, and we'll allow them to adjust their gas tank. Basically, you want to be in line with hardly on fumes. And then based on where you're at in line, you want to put just enough gas in your car. You believe just enough gas in your car that you can sit in line. Oh, this is measuring human time. This is beautiful. How much gasoline am I? Of course, what you're going to do, you're going to roll up and shut it off. You're going to roll up and shut it off. You're going to roll up and shut it off. Hell, maybe the smart thing to do is put a little electric motor or use a starter or get some creative something going on. I can see putting a little electric motor on the drop box on that car and a battery in it. Not too big, because you can always start the engine and run the generator to recharge it. But basically, use the electrics to move you forward in line so you're not wasting any gas. You only waste as much gas as it takes to keep the battery charged to get to the front of the line. But then, of course, now you got this dead weight you got to carry that down the whole length of the course. So maybe it's smarter to just put a little fuel in it and keep starting, and maybe you take a chance that you may wear your starter out. Ooh. Here's the ultimate. You get one crew member to accompany you in line, and they can push you. Oh, that's it. There it is. There it is. So every time the line moves up, the crewman can push you, and you cannot touch the contestant in front of you. And you cannot hit the pusher in front of you under penalty of disqualification. And then, of course, we let the next person in that was originally in line, you know. Civility will rule. My humble opinion, the best bet would be to set up a little electric motor that drives through the drive box that's on the car. You know, it's bolted in the training there that sends the power to the rear. Set up a little electric motor on that and a little battery pack. Basically the same battery you use to start the car, and which you can start your engine to recharge it. And just have a little I can picture you just got a knob there on the dash or something where you basically, it's spring loaded to a zero position that's pointing left. As you turn the knob to the left, it starts creeping forward, and of course, probably you turn it, it creeps forward. When you need to back up, you turn it the other way, and it creeps back. So basically, that's a plug for Tesla. You know, the electric cars. And I guess it would be fair game to maybe make that motor a little bigger, because you can use regenerative braking, see? So maybe you want to put a bigger battery in there and a bigger motor generator and use regenerative braking to help you whoa up at the corners and then get that back going forward. I think the unlimited eclipses ought to be allowed that. And we'll have to think about everybody else's street legal class, barely. Dangerous, basically Fast and Furious style cars, Folks, I'm telling you, the more I think about this, the more of a spectacle we're creating. Oh, and another thing, we have got to do some sort of a plug for that baseball center over there. I want that as part of the deal while we're maybe waiting to start or something. I want that as a plug for sports. We may come up with 2 or 3 plugs, to fill in gaps when there ain't nothing to happen. Everybody's sitting there breathlessly waiting for something to happen. We can have commercials, and then I want to start plugging some sports. Baseball, and that center there we've got there in Peoria, that's a great asset to the community. And then maybe we go visit a local volleyball game, and girls volleyball game, and we do a little filming and give the girls volleyball a plug, and then maybe we go to a boys girls softball game, and we give one team a plug, local team a plug, and then you can see what I'm saying. One sports break is nothing starts happening, and then we just play commercials, and what's going on is is in the little inset screen up in the corner, so you ain't missing nothing. But so then we got all these commercials being run, and like I said, every cent of that commercial is going into fighting cancer. It's basically like a live telethon, and there's a counter up on the screen, and we're raising money to fight cancer. Oh, I think the first one's going to go down in the annals of history. It's an epic production, and then the annual repeat of that, regular part of the NASCAR circuit. I can see using some of that money to help NASCAR expand and grow and make their tracks safer for the contestants, to make them safer for the people that visit them, to make them bigger, basically make arenas out of them. Rebuild everyone around each track so that these weekly arenas, like the one up in Joliet and the one in Daytona, Indy, rebuild them into just cathedrals of coliseums of racing. Kind of like the Indy 500, how they've done that one, and Daytona, how they've done that one. So I can see spending some money, allowing some money to be spent to upgrade those tracks to be the safest and the funnest venues, so that people around the country go on weekends and watch local races. That'll help NASCAR out and get in. They're sinking. Their volumes are sinking. So, and we run basically every weekend. We're gonna have we're gonna cure cancer. I'm telling you right now. So anyway, race day, the spectacle of it is, and of course we're gonna have red. If you wreck, you're gonna be the laughing stock of the whole world because you caused a red flag. And we'll put yellow lights up all on the route, and maybe a little signboard that you can see how fast you were going as you're coming up on that deal. And of course we'll basically make that the built-in camera system. Basically, we put these posts up that's got, green, yellow, and red, a stoplight, and a display that says you are going X, and the limit is Y, and the limit will be basically 5 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. So if you're on the 2-lane there, it's going to be all 55. So you're only allowed to drive that at 62. Any more than that, the local county gets to ticket your ass. And the proceeds of that are going to help pay for fixing up the road. Well, the first time we need to rebuild each corner we need to rebuild each corner to basically match the geometry and stickiness of how I recall and how it currently is. You know what I'm saying? I'll consult, no charge. I'll consult on helping engineers design the corners so that they're beefed up so they can handle the abuse they're about to take. But yet it feels like to me, as I go around the corner myself, I'm going to probably find me a 95, a 94 GXS and set it up as bone stock. The way I remember my car driving. But of course, you don't have no safety equipment in it because I'm only going to be basically going around corners with it, and I need to get apples to apples. So I'll find a car and set it up to be exactly as I recall what my car was like, and then of course we'll get the whole outfit will get another car that feels like that. If I get it in my car and then I get in this car, but this one's got roll cage and racing seat and fuel cell and everything it needs so that I can basically have a car that drives like my car did, but it's safe enough for me to put on the fire suit and the helmet and drive it and set the official, I'm the first contestant out of the gate, and that's what I'm going to use to start the race. So that's going to be our baseline. You got to obviously beat my time. Well, of course, everybody, their brother behind me is going to beat my time. But at least, the spectacle of what we're going to do here. You got the benchmark to get to race, and then we get to see if all them GSXs have been modified and tuned into. I can see, after the first race or two, that's all it's going to be. It's just GSX after GSX. That'll be basically a class. So you got, class of GSXs we got to go through. Then we got the NASCAR guys to go through. And then we've got, after that it would be the street legal, but of course, obviously not bone stock contestants to follow behind up until the length of that road. How's that for summing it up? With the goal to try to keep the race down to at least about 4 hours. And of course, you have multiple cars on the course. Car takes off, and the next car is gonna start down the course, like every minute. So once a minute, the car starts down the course. Hell, after thinking about this, we might have to no, we need to limit it to 4 hours. So yeah. So maybe then it starts with I run the course and try to set my time. So this is basically qualifying, re-qualifying. You get one more shot to run down the course. Maybe you screwed up at the end, and so you get another shot to maybe not screw up at the end. And then we roll you back around and line you up again, and then you get one last shot, and that's and wow, I just cannot believe how much of a great idea this whole thing is. So basically, you get 2 shots to try to get a clean run. Or if time allows in 4 hours, maybe we get 3 shots. I don't know. We have to judge how it works. 4-hour max broadcast length. It's got to be daylight, guys. I'm sorry. I guess we'll have to discuss 4 hours, 6 hours. It's got to be daylight. So maybe 10 a to 4 p. Maybe we'll make a 6 hours. So however many times we can go around in 6 hours or something. It's basically it's a telethon for cancer, and the spectacle of it all is just incredible. And of course, people want advertising on these cars, and we got to set up a mechanism so the advertising on the car, all those funds for this particular race will go to the cancer fund. We'll work with each individual and each team to make sure that the advertising revenue generated by the view, well, I don't know how that works, but anyway. So basically, if you want to contest in it, you can get advertising and then run it down through to cover your costs. I mean, I eventually picture it might just be all GXXs and the NASCAR boys, and sorry boys, there ain't no more room for your freaking Fast and Furious cars. We basically proven you all just need to stop. Here's the ultimate Fast and Furious, that GXX, and the NASCAR boys. Oh, and we can't forget about the supers, that electric Volkswagen and the Teslas. I can see the next class will be the Tesla Roadster, or the Tesla S, and the Tesla 3s. Hell, we might even run a Y in the next class, just for giggles. Wouldn't that be a kick in the head? In fact, there it is. We may have track days where people with the Fast and Furious cars, I'm not trying to diss them, but I'm basically trying to prove a point. This street racing crap needs to stop. Now, if you like these cars and you get a thrill out of driving those cars, here's the one place in the world. And of course, the other tracks, they can set up their own courses. And on their race weekend, we have a Fast and Furious event where, those type cars get to run around the course. Oh my God, the amount of billions. We're going to find a cure for cancer. I'm telling you. We're coming up on 50 minutes, so I guess I'm going to have to wrap this thing up. You all need it's going to take forever to upload this. Oh, my God. It's 9:38 now, so I guess I got all night to get this thing uploaded. All 50 minutes of it. Tell you what, we're going to make a whole hour out of this. And the last 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you some of the stories of when I going to work in the morning in my car. Some of the stories that stick in my mind. Of course, on a nice sunny day, I had plenty of spectators out there right before work who knew in about 1 minute till I'm going to come zipping down through there. And I had talked to all of them, and I said, please, no filming. Because they'll put me in jail and you'll never see me again, okay? As my friend, please, no filming. And no word of mouth, so it turns into a freaking crowd that looks weird, that gets the attention of the media and the local law enforcement. So it looks like nothing more than just everybody standing out getting their last smoke break in before work starts. You know, the quality of people that were working at Nelson, you know, basically the draw, that was like a perk for working at Nelson's, when you get to watch my morning ritual. We got a pretty solid talent pool going there at L.R. Nelson's after I started doing this. So I helped out L.R. Nelson's. So Mr. Ransburg, wherever you're at, you're welcome. Of course, I got to work with some pretty talented people, and boy, I got started, you can tell. All right, 5125. I got to pick my stories carefully. One morning, it was foggy. Pea-soup fog. You know, I could see maybe 100 yards in front of me. It was light out, so you know it's you know dawn. You know it's just pea-soup fog. It's light out, and I could see about 100 yards in front of me. So I was driving at basically what I felt to be a safe limit of my vision. And of course, as I come down close to the corner there by Jubilee, getting ready to turn on the Grange Hall, the fog thickened up a little bit because that's just the lay of the land, the way the weather works around here. And it's also known as Deer Alley because the deer are over there in Jubilee State Park, and they would venture out over into the other woods across on the east. One time I saw a doe, and this is no lie. I saw a doe. She was being chased by a buck during rutting season. And I sat up there at the corner of Grange Hall and Jubilee, right down there at the corner. There was a little parking area there by the telephone boxes, and I sat there one day and I watched this. You know, getting toward evening and dark. I remember sitting there. That doe, she'd run across the road right in front of the car. And of course, the buck's standing there right behind her. She was kind of basically standing off to the left of the road, so the people coming would obviously see her, and she'd see that buck. And she was having fun. She was timing that to where she was right across the road, right in front of that car, to timing it, trying to get that buck to get hit. And it took several events of that before he figured out he needs to make sure he doesn't get hit either. But it was kind of fun to kind of get out there and stop just short, so that it gave the people in the car a real scare. But they didn't going to get hurt. It's almost like they was playing. It's almost like they were recording. It's almost like they was having a date. She was driving him crazy over and over again. He wants to just get her so bad she won't let him. And that's how I sat there for 2 hours and watched this spectacle unfold. And of course, eventually got dark, and of course, it had to stop there, and they did. They wandered off and probably consummated their situation there in the woods. So I remember that, and that was just fascinating. That's one story. See, you can imagine if I get interviewed for this event, I've got plenty of stories. So believe me, as a color commentator, during any downtime, boy, I got it. I'll write myself some notes so I can tell these stories if we need to kill a couple seconds. And I think I'm going to have y'all in stitches the whole time. Like I said, we're going to cure cancer with this. And I think that's great. Let me think of one more story. Let me think. Let me get a drink of stuff and think, and give you one more story before I let you go in 1 hour. Man, there's so many. How do you pick them? Oh, yeah. Oh. Back to the other deal. I was basically driving along at my what I felt I was not endangering myself too bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm basically driving to the what I can see in front of me, and I'm coming up on right where that story I just told had happened prior. So I knew there's probably going to be deer there. So I wove it up a little bit at least to start looking for deer. And sure enough, there's 2 deer standing in the road. One in the left-hand lane and one on the right-hand deal. It's like they were standing there giving me just enough room to drive through it. I don't even know if they was the same ones. I don't know. It's like maybe they noticed me going by every morning and they thought they was going to have a little fun with me on the first foggy morning. But to this day, I remember my eyes getting very wide as I suddenly was presented with 2 deer. And you know how deer are. As soon as the deer startle, they will run. People, here's how you do the deer. If you're ever driving down the road and you're suddenly confronted by a deer in the road, here's what will happen. If you try to calmly just avoid the deer, don't panic, don't taunt, don't honk your horn, don't scare him. He will freeze and stand there as long as you don't scare him. As long as he thinks you're going to miss him, he won't move. But if you do anything stupid like honk your horn or you do have to make a maneuver so your tires squeal a little bit, but if he thinks you're going to miss him, he'll let you. He'll stand there and let you miss him. But, so they just stood there. And they're both looking right at me. Just standing there looking at me. And to this day, I remember as I'm passing them, I look over to my left-hand mirror, and the tip of his nose just cleared my freaking mirror. Oh my gosh. That's my number one recollection of my trips, my morning ritual on that road. You can just picture that. We might try to recreate that, so you get a sense of what I saw. Because, oh my God, that scared the T-Water. I mean, it scared me and awed me at the same time. That I snuck through there and barely missed them both and come out on the other side alive. It's almost like there's someone out there watching out for me. I don't know. It's basically the Lord above giving me material to then entertain you while we do this. You see how this all ties together? 30th anniversary and the statute of limitations is up, and we know that Mr. Trump, I love you, man. I think you're the best thing since Swiss cheese for this country. I'm not going to, obviously I'm endorsing him for president in the re-election, but, vote your conscience. Vote for who you feel would be the best for this country. That's all I'm going to say about that. And let's remember, I've got 1 minute left. I'm a very simple man. I'm a very humble man. I can live comfortably on about $36,000 a year. I need about $24,000 for living expenses, and another $12,000 a year for, buying, like a new TV or a new computer or a car. Basically, you get a car, and maybe I get a car payment of, $500 or $600. So that eats into that extra $12,000 a year I got. You see how that works? That's basically the way I've been living my life. And you could ask anybody who's watched me grow up and stuff. That's me. I'm a very humble man, and so even though I might get famous here, I'm gonna still do that, and I'm gonna make a point by if I ever get to meet Mr. Trump, it's gonna be in sweats and a t-shirt and maybe I took a shower this morning, but that's about all the more. That's my stick. I'm sorry, that's just me. So anyway, 1 minute and 10 seconds. 1 minute and 11 seconds is where we're no. I'm gonna stop here just over an hour. 1 minute and 30 seconds is the end of this. So the end is coming. Like I said, I've had a very interesting day the last couple of days. The last few days, from the time I started creating this, I'm going to go a minute. Time I started come up with this idea to create this to this point in time where I'm releasing this video, it's been a very interesting week or so. And again, YouTube, I figured out what you're doing, and it doesn't fit the Ten Commandments. So I think the Lord above is a little mad at you, and it's my job to expose you. But I'm not trying to threaten you, I'm just saying. Anyway,